Hi, Jaskirat. Welcome to NRG Retreat with Tanveey Kapur. It is a pleasure to have you on our episode today.
Pleasure as always, Tanveey.
Jaskirat is the co-founder of Organic Alley, which is a brand that brings you locally grown pesticide, insecticide-free produce right to your doorstep. Thank you so much for the products that you had sent me because I made some yum homemade fresh salad and it was completely yummy and so fresh. It almost felt like I was taking a walk in the garden with a beautiful, arrangement. It was so exotic and it tasted even better. So tell me more about Organic Alley.
So, firstly, I'm glad you enjoyed the greens we sent you. This is why we do it, to give that pleasure to the people who are ordering from us so that they enjoy the product and they enjoy eating salads. Because what we want to promote is we want to promote people eating healthy and feeling healthy. So, Organic Alley is a company that we just started 8 months ago. So we started during lockdown, and the aim of the company is to bring the freshest, chemical-free. So we don't use any pesticides, we don't use any insecticides, and the freshest produce we can to the people directly to their doorsteps. So that's the goal that we started with, and what we're doing is we're growing salad greens and herbs hydroponically. So hydroponic basically means we're growing without the use of soil. So growing all these vegetables and herbs in water. So just by flowing water and adding nutrition to the water itself, we're able to grow these fresh and lovely salad greens. So the advantage of growing hydroponically as compared to growing in soil that we found is, firstly, we're using a lot less space. So because we're giving the plant the exact nutrition it needs at exactly the right time, we're able to grow the greens much faster and much denser. So if we were doing open field cultivation, so if we were growing outside in a field, we'd have to use at least 3 times as much space to grow the amount that we're able to grow right now. So from a small space, we can grow a whole lot more. And because of that, we can be placed locally, right? So we're placed right in the heart of South Delhi and Gurgaon. So we're right there and we can deliver to your doorstep and you get really good fresh greens delivered to you. So that's Organic Alley.
Great, fantastic. So it's actually about, also like you said, you're saving up to 90% water in when it's hydroponically produced. There's land conservation and you're able to also better manage changes in weather conditions. So can you talk about that a bit more, please?
Right, of course. So, water conservation. Why is there water conservation? Because normally when we're growing in soil, we flood the field with water, right, to water the plants. Or even if we use drip irrigation, so we're still putting water into the soil, and that water gradually seeps through the soil, and the soil becomes dry again. And then, the roots can uptake the nutrition from the soil when there is a little bit of water and a little bit of oxygen. What we are doing is we're cycling water through our entire farm so that water gets recycled. So it goes from the main tank, nutrition tank, it goes through the roots of the plant. So the roots have access to oxygen and they have access to the nutrition right when they need it. And then that water cycles back and comes back to our tank, and we maintain the nutrition level of that tank, and we use RO water so we know that the the veggies that we're growing are completely safe and hygienic to eat. And as I talked a little bit about land conservation, because we're able to grow a lot faster and denser, we're using a lot less land, and so we're able to be placed in the heart of a city that is, where we have constraints of space. We can have these hydroponic farms on rooftops as well, so we don't even need the fertile soil, that can be used for better purposes. We can grow in urban areas and have localized, super hyper local is what they call it these days, hyper local farming. So, right in your neighborhood, you have somebody growing the food that is fresh, nutritious, and good for you. And, you can get it the same day, it's harvested the same day. So when I send you something, it's harvested 3 hours before you get it. So it's right from the farm, and that is the advantage that you get with that.
So that's how fresh it is like when you receive it, because it's just like you said, within 3 to 4 hours is the period of
Yeah,
like when you're actually bringing the produce and delivering it fresh to the people. And so
right.
specifically for people around Delhi NCR, I think this is something that they would love to experiment with. People who are more health conscious, people who want to go ahead with organic herbs and greens, and tell people about what is the kind of produce that we're looking at right now. I do also know you're going to be looking at expanding, what you have in store right now. But what is it that you
Absolutely.
are currently dealing in? So you could tell people specifically. You could probably name a couple of greens and herbs so that they know that what is available. Also, people can go and take a look at organicalley.in, where you can also directly go and make an online purchase. And now going back to just Kirat, he's going to tell you more about the products.
So, right. So, what we're growing currently is different varieties of lettuce. So, lettuce is our bread and butter, so to say. We have a lot of, we have 8 to 10 varieties of lettuce that we're growing at the farm currently. So, you have your red lettuces, your green lettuces, you have romaine, butterhead, Batavia lettuce, which is a different variety of lettuce that we usually don't get in the market, but it's really nice, fresh, crunchy, and not bitter at all. That's the biggest complaint people have with eating um, green leaves, is that usually they're bitter. But what we try to do is we try to make it taste as good as it is for you. And so that's, we really pick and choose the varieties that we're growing. So we use the best quality seeds to get the best quality product. And besides lettuce, we're doing kale. So we're doing a couple of varieties of kale. We're doing Swiss chard. We're doing pok choy. So, for your Asian curries, we have, and stir fries, we have pok choy. We are also doing some microgreens. We're doing different varieties of herbs. Herbs usually go seasonal. So at the moment, we're growing parsley, sage, thyme, dill, fennel, and we're doing a lot of rocket, rucola, or arugula. So that has gotten a very good response from people. It's not bitter at all, and you get a nice, very nice peppery flavor. It's spicy. I never imagined before I started growing that you eat a leaf and it's spicy and you need to drink water after that, but it is that good. And we're also doing a lot of baby spinach. So there are quite a few varieties, mostly all green leaves. So when you walk through the farm and the water is flowing, it's so peaceful. That's one of the best things about doing this work is, just taking that stroll through the farm, looking at the produce, and it's all green around you and the water is flowing. And it's so like you're doing work also, and it is relaxing at the same time. So it's a very good environment to work in.
Sure, and the thing is this, that here you can be sure, because Jaskirat is so passionate about what he's doing, that it's something that has a lot of heart, that goes into the complete produce and into the business as well. So tell me more about making that switch, because mechanical engineer by profession, and making this switch. What's the journey been like, and so how come you thought of coming up with this startup in the lockdown? I'd love to know more about your story.
Right. So, as you said, mechanical engineer by education, and that's been my interest all my life, is, figuring out how things work and, really optimizing and making things efficient. And this, I feel, is the conjunction of, growing something by your hands and being able to optimize it. So this is like an engineer's dream, if an engineer is interested in growing things, this is the exact conjunction
Amalgamation.
of that. Yes, yes, yes. So that's how I got here. I've grown up on a farm all my life, and I've seen we've grown a lot of things, and I've always been interested in it. And we had some space available, and I was looking at it for a long time. And finally, when I felt it was the right time in my life, I did a few courses into it, and um, I worked at a hydroponic farm for a month, and
Oh, that's so interesting. Tell us more about your experience working at a hydroponic farm. What was it like? And, what is it that you got to learn? And what was your experience like?
Oh, that was mostly to learn the day-to-day things. So I'd done courses, I understood like theoretically what the plant needs and what their needs are and what conditions we need to provide. And but I wanted to really get hands-on experience with, how are we sowing, how are we transplanting, how are we harvesting, how is the farm being managed. And so I got to experience that. I know a couple of people who have hydroponic farms here in Delhi NCR, and we all work together. So I went and I worked there for a month, basically just morning to evening, and figured out this is how things work. And now that's what we're trying to optimize and make it more efficient at our place.
Fantastic. And, so it's not just for salads, but like just Kirth was mentioning, you can use these greens in any kind of Asian curries or Thai curries, and the rocket leaves can be used in your Italian food, pizza. So there's so much more to explore. And again, the limitation of seasonal herbs and greens, I think that is also taken care of when you're using hydroponics, right?
Right. So, we're able to grow lettuce all year around, which is something that is quite fantastical to think about, that in the Delhi heat and in the monsoon, we're able to produce good quality lettuce. But we're able to do that because you've created a climate controlled greenhouse, basically. So, that is another way how we ensure hygiene. It's grown in a closed environment. So, that's how we limit our use of pesticides and insecticides, because we're growing in a closed environment, and we really limit who is allowed to go into that space, because anytime we allow somebody to go in, they're carrying certain bacteria or fungi or whatever with them. Even if you walk through a space, you'll catch some on you, and you're carrying that into the greenhouse, and then that might cause disease or pests to grow inside the greenhouse. So we really limit who's allowed to go in there. Only the farm operators go in there. Even I only go in there twice a day, and I have fixed times, and we follow a protocol so that we can maintain that hygiene inside the poly house, and we don't have to rely on your pesticides, insecticides, fungicides, all those things that we know aren't good for us. So that is another part of this. Is I want to bring produce to people where they can feel safe eating it. They can be assured that this is coming from a hygienic place, and it's not going to cause any harm to me or my family. And I think that's a really big concern. And coming back to your point about why we started during the lockdown, I mean, this was a process that was ongoing, but when the lockdown started, my farm was still not operational, and I kind of got a few people around, and I just started it as soon as I could, because I felt this is the time that we need this most, right? So we're growing green, healthy vegetables that boost your immunity, that make your immune system stronger. And when a pandemic is here and we're living through it, and we're seeing so many people suffer from it, and it's tearing apart families, I think this is when we need something like this the most. We need to um, encourage people to eat healthier, to live healthier lifestyles, to focus on their uh, wellness, and mental wellness as well as physically. And a lot of that comes from what you're eating. So the more accessible that we can make healthy produce to people, so we try things like we have a subscription program. So you don't have to think every week. You just pay once a month, and we deliver your salad needs for the week to you every week. And they'll stay fresh for the week. We deliver them with the roots attached, so you just put them in a bowl of water, and you just pluck out the leaves as and when you need them, and you can eat, and the salad will stay fresh throughout. So you can have a great experience. You don't have to think about it will deliver it to right to your doorstep, and that's all. So we're trying to make it as accessible as possible for people to eat healthier and to incorporate salads into their diet. As a family, we've had a great time ever since we started doing this. We've started eating a bowl of salad before dinner every night, and it's made a huge difference in the way we feel and the way you know, how much healthier we're feeling, how much more active we are, and just like, I think when your digestion system is working well, the body seems to do a lot better. So,
Sure, absolutely. And it was a very filling meal because the day you sent it, we'd like prepared like salad in the evening, and it was a very filling meal along with soup. It
yes,
actually, and because there were so many greens, otherwise,
yeah,
when you think of a salad, I mean, you just have those one or two greens that you have in mind, like lettuce
yeah.
and one or two other things. But there was so much more that you sent, and I was able to, incorporate all of that into my salad as well. Uh,
Right.
and the
So,
chai.
so whenever we send our salad along, we send a few herbs as well. So you can just add those herbs to your salad to add that flavor, to enhance the flavor of the salad without adding a lot of spices. So when we start adding spices, we're reducing how healthy the salad's going to be. We're increasing the sodium, and with Indian food, we eat a lot of sodium as it is, so we don't need any more. So we send those herbs along, so you can just add a little bit of that to your salad, and it will bring it alive. And you just add a few things. And so to make it even more easier for people, if you go on our Instagram page, which is instagram.com/organic.alley, we have a lot of recipes. So we have recipes for salads and for how else you can incorporate these greens in your meal. So it's not just salads. We try to give as big a variety of what you can do with it on our Instagram page.
Right. And so I have a question. How can people place an order for the subscription that you're talking about, and how can one go about it?
So go on our website. There's a big tab that says subscriptions. You can go there. There's two options for subscription. One is once a week, and the other is twice a week. So you can just click on the one you want. It will it'll send you an email saying confirming your order and giving you a link to manage your subscription. So anytime you want to pause your subscription or cancel it, you have complete control of it. It will send you a reminder every time it's going to charge your card. So it's not like you do it and you forget about it. No, you're going to get a reminder every time. And if there's any issue, we're always there. There's a button to contact us via WhatsApp on our website. You can message us anytime, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
So it's like an ongoing subscription until you don't cancel it. It just automatically just goes on, and you don't need to kind of remember. It's not like a pressure in your mind that okay, I need to order every week or every couple of weeks. It's taken care of until you would like to like renew or cancel your subscription, right?
Yeah, so if you're going out of town, you can put it on pause. You won't get charged for that time. That time will get automatically added to your subscription. And whenever you start again, you'll start receiving your greens again. And it just makes it easier to manage. That's what we wanted to give people, is the ease of mind that you do it once and you forget about it, and you'll just get a fresh basket of salads every week, and you can enjoy.
And what I really loved about it is that, when your employee had come to deliver it, first of all, it was in those sealed bags, sealed
Yes.
plastic bags. And they had like small holes, which was, I think, for them, like not to, those oxygen holes, was it? I can't
Right.
get the term, but it's got like those little, holes in the bag. And though it's completely sealed and it's a plastic bag, like a keep it fresh bag, right? So
Yes,
that's how it
yes,
was delivered to me, all the herbs and a couple of greens. And they came in a, frozen box kind of a thing arrangement. So where they
right,
fed were
right,
completely fresh.
right,
So they weren't,
right.
it wasn't looking like, okay, it's come from, so many kms away. It looked
Yeah,
really fresh. Even when he handed them
yeah.
over to me, those in the keep it fresh bags, they were completely fresh. So tell me about that, like, how you when you send it over to people, what is the process? so that it reaches
So
them properly.
again, the whole idea is, that's the value that we're bringing to people, right? Like I'm placed in Chhatarpur and I decided to put up the farm here because I wanted people to get the experience of getting produce straight from the farm, right? So we took great care in ensuring that A, it reaches you as fresh as possible. So we use ice boxes, we put ice packs in it so that you're not affected by the pollution. It goes outside the farm in an ice box, and that ice box is opened when you're getting your delivery. So it's not exposed to the outside elements at all. And B, you get the longest shelf life that we can give you, right? So when we send our lettuce heads, we send them with the roots attached.
Yes.
Right. So it's a living plant that you have in your hand, right? You just put it in a bowl with the roots submerged in water, and that lettuce head will stay fresh for a week. You don't have to worry about it. You can just put it on your shelf in a bowl of water, and that plant is still alive. It's going to live. So you just pluck out the leaves as and when you need them, and every day you can have a fresh salad. And the herbs that we send, as you said very correctly, that they're sent in keep it fresh bags. So again, we wanted to make sure that we can give you the longest shelf life, right? So we pack them in these keep it fresh bags. You can put that in your fridge and they'll last 40% longer than if you just put them raw in your fridge or in another bag or in a cloth bag or whatever. So, they're made in a way that they absorb these gases that vegetables produce when they decay. So it slows down that process. So they stay fresh for longer. So we try to give as much value to the customer as possible. That's where our passion comes from.
Great. And so basically, like the lettuce that comes along with the roots, so you don't need to refrigerate it in water. You can just put it outside in the kitchen, submerged in water, and that should work, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So when the temperature gets higher, when it's the summer, then we recommend you put it in the fridge, right? With the roots submerged in water, and that way they'll stay fresh for a lot longer. But in the winter, when the weather is so nice, you can just put it on your shelf and you're good to go.
Great. So I think that answers a couple of the questions that we were asked. And yes, we also have a comment from Devi, and she's saying that yeah, all the ideas that you suggested are very good for natural seasoning in food items and in salads. So on that note, thank you so much for joining us today, Jaskira. This has been a very informative session, and I'm sure people have learned about how your hydroponically produced herbs and greens and how beneficial they are and how fresh they will receive them once they order them from you. And again, I'll be repeating the handle if you'd like to go online and order. It's organicalley.in. It's by the name of organic.alley, ALLEY, on Instagram. And you can also follow them on Facebook by the name of Organic Alley Farms. Right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Thank
Tanvi.
you
It was a
so much.
pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for joining us. And everybody who wants to stay in tune with the podcast, it's going to be up. And you can follow us on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Alexa, Google Podcast, Spotify, and on YouTube. So great.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for joining us, everyone. Thank you, Jaskirat.
Thank
Wishing you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.